a quick programming note here. Pagan's Wi-Fi shit the bed, and he's trying to remedy it. So I'm going to carry on as the co-host here until I can get him back in. Oh, yeah, there he is.
I think Marcus Hayes might have cut his internet wire going into his house.
Yeah, listen, I would just say, like, here's my thing with like the Embiid thing. Like, I just can't do the he's soft take anymore. You know, I mean, I think the guy has proven beyond benefit of a doubt. I mean, he's played in the playoffs with 2 broken faces now. Bad thumb, you know, the highest usage rate, second highest usage rate, I guess, of like anybody in the NBA besides Luka this year. I know if anybody was going to make an argument for him being soft or having to get tougher or something, is that legitimate at all at this point?
Hell no. And it's not just because he's painted on my wall behind me. I promise you. Right. Come on. You know, like
I'm wearing an Embiid shirt
as we
speak today.
Yeah. I got JoJo's face tattooed on my ass. No, no, I mean, you know, look, if you're still saying that right now, you're just grasping. And I think a lot of people that are discussing 76ers basketball as a whole, forgive me, it was a long weekend, so I have no idea what Marcus Hayes wrote. But you know, I get in these conversations with friends, family members, and I've been repeating myself over the last couple of weeks. Like, all right, what's your plan? You want to trade Joel Embiid? Wide open. Where's he going? What do you get in return? What's your plan? Are we competing next year? Are we competing for a championship the year after that? And everybody is just all locked on to the old sports radio call. I don't care. I'll take anybody. Yeah, we're all frustrated. But to everybody here, Kevin and Coggin, I didn't ask you. I don't know your answer to this. And Kevin, I don't know your answer to this. If Joel Embiid was healthy, not dealing with any injuries against the Miami Heat, do we advance in that series?
I mean, I think so. I just think when you have something that's affecting you in some way, you know, it bleeds out to the rest of your game. Yep. You know, I mean, like,
just so painful like that, where every step that he took on that court sends the reverb, sends the vibration. Like, dude, that wasn't an easy injury to play through.
No, and you're talking about like you're talking about like concussion stuff up in that area too. Yep. And you know, something that he's dealt with before. And man, like, you could be the toughest dude on the planet. You could be the biggest, you know, have the most dog in you of anybody, but man, like that stuff's hard to play through. So I don't need anybody who's sitting there, you know, on press row, you know, telling people what's tough and what's not tough. You know, I think Joel has answered those questions, you know, and whatever you say about him earlier in his career, you know, he's not that guy anymore. So it's more than just like an opinion. I just don't think I think the take itself is just demonstrably false, you know.
Agreed.
People miss games for migraines, and you know, you've got a broken face. If memory serves correctly, he got hit a couple times in the face. You know, he's wearing a guard, but
yeah,
an inch of plastic.
Do you remember the play with Devin where he had the rebound and it
an inch of plastic.
On the floor.
Yeah, it's not gonna it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt like a bitch too. Yeah. So it's just like you're trying to play with this debilitating injury, and you're trying to be the focal point of a team's offense. I mean, it's not a matter of toughness at all. I think just he proved his toughness by actually coming back and playing in the series.
Yeah.
So I don't quite, you know, if you're questioning, like Sean said, if you're questioning this guy who's the runner-up MVP 2 seasons in a row, it's almost playing into the stereotypes that we hate about the city, where, you know, this purely elite guy who is a top 5, you know, top 10 player in the NBA, and we're finding fault with him, you know, despite, you know, his excellence. It's a shame. And it's a shame that you have to read that stuff, especially from, you know, the Inquirer, and a guy that's been writing for the Inquirer for decades. It's, you know,
he doesn't believe it though. There's no way he believes that. And you know what? I met Marcus Hayes down there at the Wells Fargo Center, and he is super nice, but he bullshits like no other in Philadelphia media when he puts stuff pen to pad. Come on. He doesn't believe that about
and I just want people to enjoy it. I don't want people to look back if Embiid's not playing a couple years from now and saying like, hey man, what an amazing guy this was. They're watching YouTube highlights 15 years from now. Like, at least, you know, while you're watching it, if you can't appreciate it and enjoy it while you're watching it, then what's the point? You know, I mean, you can point out flaws in everybody's game. You can point out flaws in Jokic's game too. But I mean, like during the Iverson run, like people were just trying to enjoy it as much as possible. You know, that was like a magical kind of thing. I think because the process, you know, the nature of that, a lot of people felt like the only way to justify that was like, you got to win a friggin' title here or something like that. It's just like, that creates this like weird kind of divide where it's like people can't even enjoy what they're watching in real time. You know, you have a guy who's putting up historic numbers and doing amazing things on the basketball court. And I just don't want people to derail that shit with something that's just not that important. You know, like I don't want people to look back 10 years from now and say, man, I wish I had just quit complaining about that.